ever get that feeling.
Yeah.
Like you just can't get yourself
Right.
to do the stuff you know you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That whole inertia thing, the distractions, man, they never end,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Totally.
I feel like we're always kind of wrestling with that.
Yeah.
So today, we're going deep on this. We're diving into The Art of Laziness, this really cool book from Library Mindset.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And this isn't about those like quick fix productivity
Oh, no.
hacks. You know,
Right.
it's about like getting why we even get stuck in the first place
Right.
down in our minds.
Yeah, exactly. It's more about that mindset shift, I'd say.
Right. And finding a way to like actually keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's not just hacks. It's a whole look at how you think about getting stuff done or not getting it done. The book breaks down nicely. First, it gets you to look inward, like what's going on in your head. Then it gives you some seriously practical techniques.
I like that. I like that breakdown.
One thing that really stood out to me was how it makes you think about all those little choices we make every day. Like they add up,
Yeah.
and they actually end up shaping our future.
Wow. So it's about like being mindful of those little things.
Was it?
Exactly. Yeah. So like what's our mission here today? I mean, simple terms, right? What do we want to pull out of this book for our listeners?
Well, we want them to come away with something that helps them stop feeling stuck, to actually go after what they want. Because one thing this book makes super clear right from the start, our time is valuable.
Yeah.
Limited. Yeah, limited. And it opens with this powerful quote by Paulo Coelho. He says, and I'm paraphrasing here, one day you're going to wake up and realize you don't have time left to do all the things you always wanted to do, so do them now. Kind of hits you, right?
Oh, it totally does.
It does.
Yeah.
And to really drive that home, the book's intro asks this really thought-provoking question. What are the things you might regret not doing when you're like 80 years old? It even gives a list of those common regrets. Things like not going after your passions, letting laziness get the best of you, not appreciating the time you have with your loved ones, stuff like that.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah. Neglecting your health, working a job that doesn't mean anything to you, not traveling when you were younger, and, just not truly enjoying life.
Wow.
It's a lot to think about,
It
sir.
really makes you stop and think.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into the book. Part 1, mindset. And the first thing it throws at us is 100% responsibility.
Okay.
I got to say, this one really got me.
Right.
The book basically says blaming stuff outside of us for not taking action, it's like a dead end.
It is.
You can blame your boss, you can blame how you were raised, even the
Yeah.
economy, whatever. And maybe that feels good for a second.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
not my fault, right?
Yeah. Makes you feel like you're not in control.
Exactly. But this book,
Yeah.
it pushes back hard on that.
Yeah.
It says there's always something you could do. Always.
Yeah.
Even if it's just how you react to the situation.
What's interesting is how directly it challenges that victim mentality. Like, let's say you don't have time to exercise. You can blame your schedule all you want, but ultimately, choosing to make time for it, that's on you.
It's on you.
And the book really highlights this basic truth. People might support you, but no one else is going to be as invested in you beating this laziness as you are. It's your life, your well-being. You're the one with the goals.
So true. And it talks about how our brains are wired to like go for the easiest option, the comfy couch instead of hitting the gym, scrolling through our phones instead of doing actual work, putting things off. You know the drill, right?
I do. Procrastination is real.
It's so real. And the book's like, you got to consciously override that default setting. You got to scheme yourself toward the things that actually get you where you want to be in the long run, even if those things don't feel as good right now.
And that goes for how we think about our past, too. The book says, okay, the past gives us lessons. And yeah, sometimes regrets. But the thing is, you got to take those lessons without letting your past mistakes, hold you hostage.
So true.
And it makes this really important distinction. Making mistakes when you're trying something new, that's part of growing, but making the same mistake over and over, that means you're not learning and moving on.
Right. And that leads to what the book calls, I'm just going to say it, some harsh truths.
Yeah, it gets real.
Like if you're always lazy, if you're unhappy, or if you're constantly procrastinating, the book doesn't mess around. It says you're responsible. Straight up.
Yeah, no sugarcoating there.
No sugarcoating.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it's not about blame. It's about taking back control. Because if you're the one responsible, you're also the one who can change things.
Exactly. And then it brings in this Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
I love that proverb.
Right. Such a powerful reminder to act now.
It is. It's about like taking responsibility and then doing something about it right now.
Right. And the book backs that up with a quote from George Bernard Shaw. Success is not about never making mistakes. It's about never making the same mistake twice.
Learn from it. Move on.
Exactly. It's all about that forward motion.
Okay. Then the book switches gears. It's
No.
like, stop getting bogged down by the things you can't control.
Yeah. Focus on your own lane.
And it has this really grounding quote from Epictetus. Keep your attention on what's truly your concern. What belongs to others is their business, not yours.
Oh, true.
It's like, tune out the noise and focus on what you can actually do something about.
Mm-hmm. And the book uses this great little story to show that, the one about the farmer and the sparrow.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Right. It shows how important it is to take action yourself and not wait around for others to do it for you. It's so true. And the book puts people into these three groups: the ones who never even start, the ones who quit when things get hard, and then that like hardcore 1% who keep going no matter what and actually end up making it.
They're the ones who succeed, yeah.
It really shows you that life isn't a sprint. It's like a marathon. You got to keep going.
Consistent effort, that's the key.
Totally. Going back to that whole control thing, the book's like, put your energy into what you can change.
Right.
Your thoughts, how much effort you put in, the choices you make,
Mm-hmm.
and let go of the things you can't control, like what other people think.
Don't sweat the stuff you can't change.
Okay, next up in the mindset section, we've got comfort zone is your enemy.
Ah, yes, that good old comfort zone.
We hear that a lot, right?
Yeah.
But this book gets real about it. It's like being too comfortable, that's where laziness and procrastination really thrive.
They do. It even quotes, a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there.
So true.
Right? Simple but deep. It is. And then it connects this feeling we all get. You know, that guilt after we've wasted time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like our body's telling us, hey, you didn't really do anything meaningful.
Yeah, that inner knowing.
Exactly. And the book says the cool thing is, once people push past those comfort zone walls, they almost never wish they'd stayed inside.
It's true. The real growth and the real satisfaction come from getting out there, exploring the unknown.
I like that. And it even gives you some advice on how to start something new.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that.
It's like, keep it simple.
Okay.
Don't overthink every little thing that could go wrong.
Right.
Just start. Just begin. That's the important part. He even quotes Jeff Bezos. He says, most decisions should be made with about 70% of the info you wish you had. If you wait for 90%, you're probably being too slow.
Love that.
Right. It's about getting over that initial hurdle of starting.
It is. And to get different results, the book says you got to think differently, like outside the box.
Not just following the crowd.
Right. Don't just do what everyone else is doing. And it quotes George S. Patton here. If everyone is thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.
I love that quote. It's about breaking free from those mental ruts that keep us stuck.
Absolutely. And then it gets into the nitty-gritty of setting goals, making them clear, small, doable, especially when you're starting out. Like, it uses this example. Aiming to lose, like 4 pounds in a month versus just saying, I want to be healthy.
Yeah. Specific and measurable.
Right. Specificity makes a huge difference. And the book says actually write your goals down, like physically write them. It's crazy how much that helps with motivation and staying accountable.
I do that. I do that all the time.
Me too. It really works.
And I really appreciate that the book doesn't get all fancy with productivity tools. It's like you don't need a ton of apps and software.
Yeah.
Sometimes good old pen and paper does the trick.
Yeah. Keeps it simple.
Right. Don't get so caught up in the tools that you forget about the actual work.
Exactly. And it brings us back to that sneaky thing, procrastination, that feeling that you're avoiding something important, and that lack of peace that comes with
It's
that.
always there in the back of your mind.
Yeah. The book contrasts that with like the quick buzz you get from distractions, those short-term pleasures versus the stuff that really matters in the long run. And the regret that can come from laziness, that's real too.
Mm-hmm. Makes you think about choices, right?
It does. And that brings us to delaying gratification. Choosing to wait for the things you really want, even though it's hard.
It's so hard.
It is. But the book encourages us to embrace taking risks, too. It's like
Totally.
the regret of not taking a chance can be way worse than failing. And it quotes Mark Zuckerberg. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks.
So true. And I love that story of the farmer and his horse.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
It's a good reminder that things aren't always what they seem. Like, what looks bad at first can turn out good.
And vice versa. It's about being more flexible in your thinking.
I like that. Okay, moving on to self-discipline. The book defines it as being able to do what's good for you in the future, even if it's hard right now.
It is, and that's perfectly captured in this quote by Jim Rohn. We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
It's a tough choice, but it's real.
Yeah. And the book asks this simple but powerful question. Will you regret not doing this in the future?
Oh, man. If the answer is yes, then doing it now doesn't seem so bad.
Exactly. And it really emphasizes doing stuff, taking action, more than just having ideas.
Yeah, walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Right. Seth Godin said it well. There's no shortage of remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
Words to live by.
Right.
And it nails what procrastination is all about. Avoiding things with excuses. And my favorite excuse, I'm waiting for the right time.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
But the book is like, guess what? The perfect time will probably never just magically appear.
It won't. And even though it's hard to delay gratification, the book reminds us that we might regret it later if we always choose the easy way out.
It all comes back to that, doesn't it?
It does. It's about taking care of your future self.
Exactly. So what's the book tell us to do?
Do it now.
Love it. Straight to the point.
Right. And Picasso said it in a pretty serious way. Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone.
Whoa. That one hits hard.
It does. And the book kind of debunks this idea that there are these magic hacks to success.
Yeah, like some secret formula.
Like, nope. You got to put in the work, no shortcuts.
No shortcuts. I like that.
And the book ends this section with that story of the king and the wise men, the message on the ring. This too shall pass.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It reminds us that setbacks are temporary. Both good and bad things will eventually pass.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, next mindset shift. Work on the right things. The book starts with this quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's about how even geniuses like Michelangelo would struggle to get out of bed if they had to face a day full of spreadsheets.
Right. Makes you think, right?
It does. Are you putting your energy into the right stuff?
Exactly. And the book suggests that if you're always feeling lazy, it might be a sign that you're just not into what you're doing. Like maybe you need to find something more meaningful.
Right, because it's hard to be motivated when you feel like your work doesn't matter.
Totally. And then it connects fulfilling work to happiness. Like when your job lines up with your passions and your values, it doesn't feel like a drag anymore.
Makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
And it even goes as far as to say, find a way to get out of work you hate. Because being unhappy in your career, that can really drag you down.
Mm-hmm. But it does make a point of saying that loving your work doesn't mean there won't be tough parts. You still got to give it your all.
Right. And it uses Vincent van Gogh as an example.
Oh, yeah.
Even with all that passion, he didn't always have it easy. He faced struggles,
He did. But the book's saying that being dedicated to your craft, that's essential.
It is, no matter what you're doing. And then it talks about prioritizing, focusing your energy on the few things that'll make the biggest difference.
Less is more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about maximizing your effort. And I really liked that attract, don't chase concept. Like focus on improving yourself and the opportunities will come to you.
Yeah, instead of constantly running after everything, it's a more like inward approach.
It is. And there's this great message of self-belief here. The book's like, you are great. It says that doubting yourself can really fuel laziness. You got to believe in yourself to take action.
You do. Okay, on to the next mindset. Don't be a perfectionist.
Okay.
The book says striving for excellence. That's great, especially in creative fields. But being a perfectionist about everything, that can actually hold you back. It's like another form of procrastination. And there's this quote by Richie Norton, perfectionism is a disease, procrastination is a disease, actation is the cure.
It can really be crippling.
It can.
Yeah.
And the book talks about, like Leonardo da Vinci and Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
they were known for being meticulous, right? But it contrasts that with everyday stuff, where perfectionism just isn't necessary.
Yeah.
Like the book uses the example of cutting the grass.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a perfectionist about that.
Totally. The point is you got to know when to be a perfectionist and when to just let go.
Right. And not use it as an excuse to not do anything at all.
Exactly. Sheen Parrish has this great quote. If a decision is reversible, make it as soon as possible. If it is irreversible, make it as late as possible.
That's interesting.
Right. So for a lot of our day-to-day stuff, just start and then adjust as you go.
Makes sense. Don't get bogged down in the details when you can always change things later.
Right. The mantra here is done is better than perfect.
Love it. Getting things done is what matters. Okay, next up, don't be mediocre. The book doesn't pull any punches here.
It does. It's like settling for okay isn't something that just happens to you. You choose it.
It's a choice.
Yeah. Little choices you make every day that add up over time. And there's a quote that really captures this. Mediocrity doesn't just happen. It's chosen over time through small choices day by day.
Wow. I never thought of it that way.
Right. It's powerful. And the book stresses how important it is to always try your best, to not just settle for good enough.
Yeah.
It says that a huge percentage of people, like 99%, are stuck in jobs they hate.
It's true. So many people are.
Yeah. And it quotes Steve Jobs talking about finding work you truly believe in, work that feels great to do. He's basically saying, don't settle.
Don't settle.
Right. Keep searching until you find it. And then the book talks about how being around mediocre people can actually drag you down. Like their lack of ambition can rub off on you.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it encourages you to reconnect with your own dreams, the things that used to get you excited before you started settling.
Yeah. Like warrior kids, we dreamed big.
Exactly. Dream big again. And even failing is better than regretting that you never even tried.
So true. And it all comes back to time, doesn't it?
It does. Our time is limited. We got to live how we want to live. So the book's like, change the things you don't like.
Change your job, change your friends, change your thinking, change your life.
Right. And it ends by saying, a life of greatness, it's definitely harder. But it's worth it.
So worth it. Okay, next up, the myth of multitasking. This one's good.
Yeah.
It uses this story about the Mars Climate Orbiter.
Oh, yeah.
This thing failed because of a simple unit conversion error. Like, they mixed up units,
Wow.
and it's probably because someone was trying to do too many things at once.
Makes sense.
And the book brings in Confucius here.
Yeah.
The man who chases two rabbits catches neither. So multitasking isn't about getting more done. It actually makes you less productive and more likely to mess up. All that switching back and forth, it drains you mentally and stresses you out.
Totally. So what does the book suggest?
Well, it gives 3 tips. Don't switch between tasks all the time. Create a space where you won't be distracted.
Okay.
And turn off all those notifications that don't matter,
Good advice.
right? Just focus on one important thing at a time.
Makes sense.
And it talks about naps. Short naps can help you get your energy back,
Okay.
but long naps, or naps late in the day,
Yeah.
those can mess with your sleep.
Right. Got to be strategic about those naps.
Totally. And then it says that interruptions, even tiny ones, they really throw you off and make you less productive overall.
So the key takeaway here is to figure out what your top priorities are and then get rid of, or at least minimize, all the other stuff that just makes you feel busy without actually accomplishing anything important.
Exactly. It's about being productive, not just busy.
Oh.
Okay, moving on. Daily routine. The book quotes John C. Maxwell here. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine.
That's a powerful quote.
It is. And it's basically saying that the things we do every day, they add up and shape our future. A good routine can help you stop constantly deciding what to do next. It frees up your mind to actually do the work.
I like that. Less decision fatigue.
Right. And then the book gives this awesome example of Leo Tolstoy's daily routine. He woke up early, took walks, wrote, took afternoon naps, spent time alone, and went to bed early.
Wow. It's like a pretty structured day.
It was. But it shows how you can build intentionality into your day.
Yeah, I like that. Structure and intention.
Right. And the book also talks about finding the best time for you to wake up, not just based on what feels comfy, but on when you're most productive.
Okay, find your peak time.
Exactly. And I thought this suggestion was super interesting. It says take 5 to 10 minutes each day to just sit quietly and think.
Meditate, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. The book quotes Blaise Pascal, who said that a lot of humanity's problems come from not being able to sit quietly alone.
Makes you think.
It does. It's about getting some self-awareness.
Yeah. And then it uses this analogy of the Trojan horse to show how distractions can sneak into our lives and destroy our focus.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? It's a powerful image.
It is. So the book suggests deleting those apps that distract you, especially video games. They can eat up so much time and energy.
Makes sense. They can be a real-time suck. Okay, next skill. Learn to say no.
This one's huge.
It is. And the book uses this quote that I love. Half of the troubles of this life can be traced to saying yes too quickly and not saying no soon enough.
So true. We got to learn to say no. Politely, of course, but firmly.
Absolutely. And to say yes when you actually want to.
Right. The book's point is that saying yes to everything spreads you too thin. You end up doing a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, and you can't focus on what you really want to do.
And then it brings in Seneca. If you don't know what port you sail to, no wind is favorable. It's basically saying you need goals to know when to say yes and when to say no.
Otherwise, you're just drifting.
Ugh.
Okay, next up. Don't work 204/7.
We all need a break sometimes.
We do. And the book quotes Sahil Bloom, 20 years from now, the only people who will remember you worked late are your kids. Kind of makes you think about priorities, right?
It does. It's a good reminder.
It is. And the book's point is that being productive isn't about how many hours you work. It's about what you actually achieve.
Right. Results matter more than hours.
Totally. And it says that sometimes working long hours without getting anything done means you're avoiding the hard stuff. It's like procrastination in disguise.
Interesting.
Right, and it comes back to that whole time is precious thing. The book saying life is too short to spend it all working. It reminds us of those regrets people have when they're older,
Yeah.
like not traveling enough.
Not living enough.
Exactly. So the book says less is more when it comes to productivity. If you're working tons of hours and not getting anywhere, it might be that you're not working hard enough or that
Oh.
you're working on the wrong things,
Okay.
the things that aren't that important.
So focus on the right things and then work
Yeah.
hard on those.
Exactly. And quote Stephen Covey, if the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place faster.
That's a great one.
Right. Work on your own dreams. Okay, last one in this section. Don't wait. The book identifies this big cause of laziness as waiting for the right time.
Oh, yeah, we all do that.
We do. But the book's like, newsflash, that perfect moment probably won't ever just happen.
It won't. You got to make it happen.
And it quotes David Starr Jordan. Wisdom is knowing what to do next. Skill is knowing how to do it. And virtue is doing it.
So true. It's not just about thinking about it. It's about doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't just sit around waiting for things to fall into place. Go make them happen. And the book distinguishes between laziness and patience. Like you got to put in the work every day. That's the action part.
Right.
But then you got to be patient for the results to show up. That
Yeah.
takes time. And tells this great story about the bamboo tree.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It's like you work, and it seems like nothing's happening, but then boom.
All of a sudden, there's this huge growth spurt.
And it wasn't just luck. It was all that work you put in before.
Exactly. And then there's this story about a Zen student. The takeaway is be impatient with inaction, but patient with results.
I like that.
Right. And it quotes George Savile. A man who is a master of patience is master of everything else.
Words to live by. So the book's message is, there's no perfect time to start. The best time is now.
Now. Always now.
Right. And it highlights consistency as the key to getting good at anything, whether it's painting, writing, speaking, whatever.
So keep going.
Keep going. And it says, starting is the hardest part. It gets easier once you get going. And there's a quote here from Miyamoto Musashi. It may seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first.
So true. And the book finishes this section by talking about integrity.
Okay.
Like doing what you say you're going to do, keeping your promises.
Right.
That builds trust
Yeah.
with yourself and with others. And it links procrastination to, like, not keeping your word.
Interesting.
Right. It all ties together. Okay, next up, surround yourself with the right people.
Oh, yeah. This is a big one.
It is. It starts with a quote from Jim Rohn. You are the average of the 5 persons you spend the most time with.
So true. Your friends rub off on you.
They totally do. And the book talks about how your friends' habits, whether they're lazy or hardworking, influence you.
Yeah, if your friends are always procrastinating, you might start doing it too.
Right. But if they're always reading and learning, you're more likely to do that too.
Makes sense.
So the key is to be aware of who you're spending time with and what habits they're bringing into your life, and to be okay with saying no sometimes.
And to find friends with good habits. They can really lift you up.
They can. And the book's like, the people you surround yourself with, they shape your thoughts, your actions, your whole life.
They do.
So if you need to, change your circle. There's a great line here. Close the window that hurt you, no matter how beautiful the view is.
Wow, I like that.
Right. And it also says, be careful about taking advice from people whose lives you wouldn't want to live. It quotes Alex Hormozy, if they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say.
That's good advice.
It is. Ultimately, it's your life. Live it how you want. Okay, next up, don't worry.
Easier said than done, right?
Right. But the book says that lazy people, they often worry a lot because they have nothing else to do.
Interesting.
And it quotes Mark Twain. I am an old man and have known many troubles, most of which never happen.
So true. We worry about things that never even happen.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the book says that worrying usually comes from not believing in yourself.
Okay.
It's fueled by those negative thoughts. What if this happens? What if that happens?
Right.
But the only way to really stop worrying is to take action.